What's going on, champs and champettes? It's Monkey here, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be showcasing everything you need to be aware of for the brand new Fortnite update that is releasing tonight at around 4 AM Eastern Time. With it, we have the release trailer for Fortnite OG Season 3, which was described as the event that started it all. We have some interesting news regarding Ballistic getting some updates, not only in this upcoming update we're getting tonight, but a glance at the next update coming in the near future, and more. So without further ado, let's just kind of get into it by firstly looking at this trailer and breaking it down. Now, I haven't actually even watched this trailer before, so I'm not familiar with what's actually going to be in it, but it should still be some interesting goodies. So let's just go ahead and start rolling the video and kind of oh, it's coming through my speaker. Okay, hold on one second. All right, my bad. I just didn't want to go ahead and have any, like actual sound coming through the speaker and getting emulated on the microphone, but here is the official trailer for Fortnite OG Season 3. As you can see, we get a nice glimpse at some of the skins that we're going to be getting in this season, as well as some of the actual gameplay things that are going to be going on. And honestly, for a trailer that kind of showcases a lot of stuff, reminiscent of the meteors back in the day that were supposed to be hitting Tilted, it is interesting to see all the changes actually going down here, and we might even be getting the meteor live event happening once again. You know how it happened back then, where we just kind of had like the little meteors falling from the sky as we ended up towards the end of that season, because it was rumored before by Tim the Tatman that all the old seasonal events are going to repeat themselves once again. So let's go ahead and break down this little trailer. So firstly, we have this little intro cinematic, which doesn't really show too much. You can see the meteors kind of falling down from the sky, C4, porta-forts, drinking slurp and everything else, but right here is when we actually get a glimpse at some of the new outfits. Now, the one on the left is obviously just an old Season 3 outfit. I don't believe that's a remastered one of anything. It might be, but it just looks exactly like an OG Chapter 1 Season 3 outfit anyways. But if we look over here in the middle, we have that new astronaut skin. It's kind of a mix of Rust Lord and the astronaut skins. However, it looks like a female Rust Lord based on the actual outfit design, which is pretty cool. And for some reason, based on like the shoes, it reminds me of like the graffiti skins that we had back in the day, back in Chapter 1. I don't believe those came out in Chapter 1 Season 3, but it does kind of just give that aesthetic. And then similarly to what we've actually talked about before in the previous video about Fortnite OG, we have a new Rex skin, which is an actual item shop version of a skin. And then we have what appears to be like a Night Ravens type of skin mashup type thing going on right there. Now, I know for the skin in the middle that I've said is kind of like a Rust Lord. I have heard some people say that it could also be a remix of like Dark Vanguard mixed with Power Chord as well, which definitely is something I could see, but Rust Lord kind of matches the aesthetic a little bit more in my opinion. I don't know, I'll leave that for you guys to kind of discuss down below. But as we go ahead and, continue with the trailer, we see some of the old POIs and stuff returning once again. We get a nice view of the back of the outfit, and we'll go ahead and kind of like frame by frame this real quickly to see if we're missing any other skins. So we got the new like astronaut skin right there. Over there, do we have anything really? If we kind of see them drop down. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. I think it's just old skins, but it could potentially be new skin. Yeah, that's just the old circuit skin from Chapter 1 Season 3, which I had actually talked about before. That could be getting like a remix or something in the near future, which is interesting to see. We get to see all the skins kind of like chilling out over here by the meteor site, meteors dropping down on the ground, and then a great view right here of two of the new skins, the new Raven skin and that new astronaut skin as well. And then we kind of see like the old like Rust X, like Season X remix version of Rust Lord that we had before, kind of just in the background right there, which I think is a cool little nod of stuff that happened in the past. And once again, there is that Chapter 1 Season 3 skin that we talked about, the like Cypher skin or whatever it was actually called. I forget the official name of, but then we of course have the meteor event going on right there. And if we quickly look right here, this is actually an emote that was added to the files with the most recent game update and wasn't actually sold, so most likely it's going to be an emote in the brand new battle pass. But after that, we get this nice little overlay right here. Now, a lot of the skins were kind of showing, a lot of the ones on the right and the left are kind of just older skins that we kind of talked about in the previous video, but it is nice to kind of see like the old and the new merged together into one little category, and that'll of course be coming out on March 25th. So it's interesting to see that whole entire little cinematic trailer they've got going on there. It's interesting to see what they could be planning for this season, having the meteors come back and everything once again, and it's going to be exciting to see old events kind of repeat themselves. But Fortnite OG isn't the only thing we got to talk about here, because if we go ahead and actually, well, this is still kind of related to Fortnite OG, but if we go ahead real quickly and we open up this image right here, you can actually see the key art for Chapter 1 Season 3, and something important to mention about this key art is if we look up here, right where my mouse is, these are guided missiles, so we could potentially be seeing the guided missile finally returning to the game after so long, which would be pretty exciting to actually see. But next up, let's go hop over onto Twitter to show you guys some other stuff stuff about this update. So firstly, here's the unreleased target emote we were talking about. As you can see right there, it has a description of hit me, aim for the dead sinner, and it most likely is going to actually end up being for that upcoming battle pass, but we did originally think that it was going to be released in the item shop. Next up over here, you can see a mention of the guided missile once again, and even in the little trailer, we have the guided missile right there, which I actually didn't notice the first time. It kind of went over my head. I just thought it was a normal rocket. But going through some other things, we have Linkin Park kind of hyping up a potential collaboration with Fortnite Festival in the near future, so we could be seeing more Linkin Park in the game, or specifically like simply Dogpack mentions right here, new era Linkin Park coming to the game. But as we continue going up here and as we look at some other stuff, we get this important note about Fortnite Creative and like the whole entire roadmap for UEFN. They're delaying the scene graph beta to Q2 2025, and then they're delaying the creation of custom data-driven UI widgets and interactive UI widgets to Q4 2025, so that they can bring a better and more fleshed out experience to everyone out there. Some people are kind of upset about this because certain things like the scene graph beta, and I think these two down here, were supposed to release with tomorrow's update because that was like the last time, and they only let us know very last minute that they're actually making these changes. So it is kind of odd that they're making the change last minute, but it is nice to know that they're going to kind of like flesh it out before it fully comes to the game. Now next up, we have Ballistic's new blog post for v34.20, and instead of going through this entire blog post being like, look at all the words, we're gonna do it in Twitter form because it just looks a lot nicer that way. So if we look over here, we have the brand new Hammerfall map. The description is: rising from the waters below, the spires and tight lanes of Hammerfall bring a certain medieval flavor to the table. This castle's versatility sets it apart from Skyline 10, and you'll find there's a lot of comfortable cover, angles to hold, and corners to play. Hammerfall will be a shell map at first, as we shared in our last update. This means that the map will release in the game without any environment art, as you can see right there. It will just kind of have no textures, but it will still have orange textures for certain boxes and things, just so everything's not just the same color. You can even see some blue textures over there in the background as well. But according to them, the reason why they're releasing it in this form is because of the fact that it allows them to test it and get a feel of how it actually feels to play on the map in-game before deciding if they want to keep this map or fully scrap it and make a different design or mix things around where they're currently located, instead of fully texturing it right away, and then you end up with a map that just gets voided because people don't like it, even though you spent all that extra developer effort into actually texturing absolutely everything going on. Even if you look in the backgrounds, like the actual like mountain meshes back here don't even have textures either, which is pretty interesting. We do got stuff like a little plane sitting right there at the front, but it is an interesting map to see. Now this won't be added in tomorrow's update, as you can see right here. They're announcing it now, but it'll release on April 8th with v34.30. Next up, we have some ballistic balance changes and economy changes. They're going to go ahead and make it so the hammer pump shotgun has a faster fire rate and point blank damage is going to be increased. The frenzy auto shotgun will have an increase on point blank and mid-range damage. The thunderburst SMG is going to have a damage increase across the board, and fire rate's going to be increased as well. With the striker AR, they're going to reduce the range at which the damage fall off begins, meaning that you're going to be able to get a mid-range shot at a longer distance than before. And if we go ahead and look down here, we actually can see that the Reaper sniper rifle is going to have its cost reduced from 4,700 to 4,500. The striker is going to have its cost increased from 2,500 to 2,700. Mind me with the mess ups there. The Nemesis AR is going to have its cost increased from 2,500 to 2,700 as well, and the drum gun is going to have its cost reduced from 3,500 to 3,200. Now in terms of other things, we have a lot of bug fixes here. You can go ahead and quickly read through that. Some of the important ones to actually mention is stuff like recon grenades now being able to get destroyed, enemy recon grenades now pulsing red, smoke grenades actually deploying a lot quicker, and some of the visual improvements to make first person mode look a lot cleaner, and that's something that they're going to focus on going forwards. And if we go ahead and scroll up here, you can even see for future Ballistic updates, they're working on dealing with AFK players. They're working on adding a surrender option to the game, which is set to come in early summer. They're going to be working on UI changes to better show who on your team has the Rift Point device, and then they're going to be working on new weapons such as pistols that will be available for purchase in the starting rounds, and once again trying to fix that first person feel to make it just feel like a solid first person experience where you're not sliding or running or looking down or whatever and just seeing your whole entire arm or body clipping into your camera, because that can be annoying from what I've played. When it comes to LEGO Fortnite, however, we do have some updates that were already mentioned before, and this is going to be coming with tomorrow's update. So let's talk about LEGO Fortnite Odyssey first, where we're going to be getting the Recycler. The Recycler station will allow you to throw in all your crafted items like pickaxes that you might have an abundance of in order to gain a small percentage of the materials actually back, meaning if you have some old charms or weapons that you don't want anymore, but you want to keep the resources so that you can reuse them on other builds, you'll be able to actually use that with the Recycler, and you'll actually be able to it kind of mentions down here that you'll be able to use the recycle recipe by building or using a stone breaker, so that is a nice little addition to get to the game. And then they're going to make some changes to the wall mounts, so you'll be able to put non-holdable items on them as well. So if you have a resource or a charm you want to display, you can go ahead and display those on an actual wall mount. It mentions right here that if your wall mounts are hanging things that can turn on or off, like the illuminator or a lightsaber, you'll be able to actually turn them on or off on a wall mount, which makes me think there's going to be someone out there with a wall mount collection of just different colored lightsabers. And then they're also adding the sprint attack, where you can sprint to close the gap on enemies, delivering a powerful strike when you catch up. We have jump attack changes where I have clearer visuals, so you'll be able to easier see where you actually hit an enemy, and it also actually fixes some bugs that are actually happening with as well. We have the sprint jump, which adds an extra spring to your steps, so if you're sprinting and you jump, you'll go a little bit further, just kind of give you a little bit of a boost out like a normal battle royale and stuff actually works. And then we have some other stuff like advanced weapon journals, which will allow you to have a journal that mentions ways you can craft certain things, like refining your raw materials into stone slabs, metal bars, etc., interacting with stations and getting different rarities and stuff, so it'll kind of help remind you of which weapons you're able to craft in their own ways. And then we have next level small talk, where you'll be able to have villagers say some things to you without you needing to talk to them first. So, you know, sometimes when a villager has like a free item or a crafting recipe they want to give you, you have to talk with them and be like, hey, I have this thing. Sometimes they'll just walk up to you and be like, hey, I got this thing, which is a nice little change because sometimes I don't want to talk to my villagers. We have safety from the storm and rocks, so if you run out of time in the storm, you'll be teleported into the sky at a safe distance. This is to prevent an issue where some players actually get stuck in rocks and other things. We have some changes to the thunderclap blade, which is going to make it so landing hits with the blade will charge up the projectile attack, making it easier to get that attack ready. And they're also removing some actual animations before the projectile launches, so that'll be easier to land the attacks on distant enemies, and the more you charge it up, the more damage you'll actually do with both the normal and projectile attacks. And then finally, a raise and shield usefulness. Raising your shield will be faster and more responsive, meaning you'll be able to block a lot sooner. Now, if we go ahead and scroll down here, I don't believe it mentions anything for Brick Life. I could go ahead and just type March 25th here, and yeah, it doesn't really mention anything about Brick Life at all, so it's mainly just focused on LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, but still a decent amount of changes coming with this update coming out tomorrow. Now, in terms of other stuff going on that we don't actually have any actual images to show you, or I guess we do in some cases here, I can go ahead and pop some up on screen. We have this new quest pack right here, the Stay in Solo quest pack that you'll be able to pick up in the item shop. It'll cost real money, but of course it's like a late Valentine's Day themed bundle that you'll be able to pick up in the shop. Now, that's something kind of keeping just in the back of your mind as we continue going forwards, but we also have more stuff as well, such as the Ram car that's going to be coming to the item shop, which is an SUV class car, which is going to be coming in that first shop reset after the update comes out. We'll also be getting new car bundles and new car collabs, obviously, because they always add those and kind of like encrypt them in the files, and that's something kind of keep in mind across everything, is we end up getting new collabs across the board. LEGO Brick Life, even though it wasn't in this blog post right here, is said to be getting new locations such as an airport, new jobs, new items, and new quality of life improvements, which is nice to actually see. Now, it might get delayed despite the fact that, you know, we're mentioning a certain type of stuff because they haven't mentioned it here, but there's been times before where they haven't mentioned stuff and it still has actually ended up coming to the game. And then in terms of some little leaks here and there, we should be having more information on the April Fool's event that is set to take place on April 1st. Now, it's going to be an actual quest that you'll have a loose set of quests that you can do, and then you'll have bonus goals as well, most likely meaning we can get some free April Fool's items from it. If we don't get any items at all, it's most likely going to be XP, but those should be fully added with tomorrow's game update, which is going to be pretty nice to see. We might get some leaks on new LTMs returning to the game, maybe even, you know, some more ranked modes coming to the game for whatever reason. And then for Battle Royale, we're having a loot pool change where the Hollow Twister Assault Rifle, the Sentinel Pump Shotgun, are both going to get vaulted, while the Twin Mag Assault Rifle, the Scope Burst SMG, and the Infiltrator Pump Shotgun actually get unvaulted and put in the game, so losing some items currently in the loot pool to put some older items back in. We are going to be having more information regarding the Scorpion Mythic, most likely, because I don't know if you guys saw, but we had that little toasty image pop up in the bottom right with the actual Sub-Zero Mythic. That was supposed to only show up for the Scorpion Mythic, but it got kind of like bugged or whatever else, which is why they ended up disabling disabling it, and we most likely will be getting that Scorpion collaboration soon, or more files added relating to it. More unvaults that were mentioned in the files were stuff like armored walls, stuff like the original rocket ram and stuff like that. I know it got reused for the rocket drill, but both are set to be in the game in the future. New story quest, new audio logs, which are apparently supposed to come to the game, most likely from Midas, relating to the whole entire 0 point and everything, because we have that 0 point crystal everyone's looking for on the island. The brand new crew pack for April, a new collaboration codenamed Coffee, which according to Lulu World is set to have a medallion, a mythic item, and a boss on the island. We could get more information regarding like that smart building feature that was added in the files recently, but a lot of stuff to kind of be looking out for in the near future regarding the actual game itself. It is interesting to see how they've started going ahead and showcasing stuff to us that won't be coming right away, but will be coming on the next update or two. It's an odd thing we haven't really seen from Epic too much, but I'll be completely happy for it. But with that said, of course, there's going to be a lot more that we didn't even mention in this video, be expecting in tomorrow's update as well, such as new instruments for Fortnite Festival. They added some shop assets in the most recent update, but they didn't actually add the files, so most likely that's going to be going on, and of course, a whole new battle pass of stuff. So without further ado, I hope you champs and champettes are excited for that brand new update. If you are, consider subscribing and see all the content we post on this channel. I'll be posting the new battle pass, new cosmetics, and the update and everything else as it gets added. So until next time, I'll catch you champs and champettes a little bit later with another upload. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, and peace out.